You at home, buckle up. November is said to be a month full of cosmic storms and opportunities.
More storms for me to cover. All right. Joining us this morning with a look at the astrological forecast for the month is astrology writer for the New York Post, Reda Wigle. Welcome back to the show, Reda.
Thank
Hi,
you
Rita.
so much for having me, Chris and Marisol. Pleasure to see you both.
And of course, we're doing it on the day of a full moon, a blood moon, a full moon in Taurus. But since you're doing your deep dive into astrology, hit us up with your question.
Well, the first thing is that Mars is in retrograde, correct? We always hear about Mercury, but Mars is in retrograde, and that only happens once every 3 years. So this is kind of rare, correct?
It's roughly 2 years that Mars goes retrograde, and it began its retrograde on October 30th, and it'll continue through January 12th. And Mars is I like to refer to Mars as the jock planet. It's sort of how we get it on and how we get it done, sexuality, drive.
Oh.
And when it goes retrogrades are always a point in time where we're asked to reflect on how we use that kind of energy in our life. When it's Mercury retrograde, we focus on communication. When it's Mars retrograde, the focus is on approach and the dispersion of energy in our lives, where we're sort of putting our oomph. So it sometimes can feel like we're slowing down a little bit, like moving through Jello. In terms of getting ahead, but it won't last forever, and it is here to teach us a lesson.
Sweet baby, it's not gonna last forever, just till January.
But she did say something about sexuality involved in this too.
It's different for different people, I think.
Is that how that works?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Mars governs sexuality, and for me, it's not like everyone should stop having sex. That's terrible advice.
Hello. That's the end of this interview. So who's our next guest?
It's more about where and how we derive pleasure, what our instincts are surrounding sexuality, and maybe an investigation of how we're showing up for other people and for ourselves when it comes to sexuality.
Okay. So the eclipse you mentioned, it is happening. Oh boy, she shook her head and she let out a little bit of a sigh.
Yeah.
Tell us. Just give it to us. Just give it to us straight. Don't
give it to you straight.
Yeah.
So the eclipse, it's a full moon lunar eclipse in Taurus. So Chris, I don't know if this tracks for you, but it is going to be more acute for we bull folk, and also for fixed signs in general: Taurus, Scorpio, Aquarius, and Leo. And eclipses are always about culminations and endings. This one happens to be on the Taurus-Scorpio axis, which is literally life and death. Not to sound terrifying.
There you go.
Great.
Are your affairs in order?
Better make sure I look both ways when I cross the street later on 42nd Street.
But death doesn't have to be taken so literally, though. It could be the end of a relationship. It could be the end of an employment opportunity. And especially because this eclipse is conjunct Uranus, which is this planet of sudden change, it can feel a little bit like we're all shook up and things are changing. And especially for Taurus, which is resistant to change, it can feel a little unmooring. But it's sort of like puberty. Things have to change so that we can move forward, but it's just
if you could see this man's eyes are darting to and fro, he's like, what is going on?
I was hoping for the beginning of something, not the end of everything. Anyway.
Beginnings and endings are kind of, beginnings
one
and
and
endings.
the same.
Rita, in the time we have left, can you assign one word to each astrological sign, please?
I would love to.
All right, go.
All right, Aries, my fire people, closure. Taurus, Chris and I, disruption. It sounds terrifying. It's all for our greater benefit. Gemini, escape and expansion. Sorry, I cheated and put 2 words for some. Cancer, reciprocity, especially when it comes to our intimate relationships.
Fine.
Leo, pleasure, baby. Virgo, solitude. Libra, transformation. Scorpio, self-preservation. Buckle up, Scorpions. Sagittarius, instinct versus intention. How are we approaching? Capricorn, passion versus productivity. Are we just gristing the mill, or is there something worthwhile? Aquarius, childhood triggers. Aquarius's activation is the 4th house of home, so they get to delve into that. Sounds fun, right?
Yeah.
And Pisces is all about boundaries. Setting them, sticking to them, and not being so water loose about them.
Holy moly.
Wow.
Thank you. I love all of this. And I
love it too.
I can't wait to hear how he's going to digest all
I'm
of this.
emotionally drained right now. I don't want to take a nap or go to the
Chris,
bar.
keep in mind, though, we'll be seeing the effects of the eclipse. There might be some sudden shakeups today, especially with being an election, of course, but the full effects of it might take weeks, days, weeks, or months to even really see.
Okay.
Thank you, Rita.
Thank
as
you,
always.
Rita. We're going
Food
to
for
post.
thought.
My pleasure. Thank you,
We're going to
guys.
post all
Stay
of
well.
these tips on our website at pix11.com.
All right.
I feel good about this.
You do? I'm glad you do. I have disruption all around me.